Hello everyone, and welcome to your second royal adjacent reading this Sunday morning here at MadWorldTarot. Doing something a little bit different today, the Camelot series. You can catch yourselves up properly in the Mordred reading that I have just done and uploaded, looking at Mordred's energy. I'm looking today at the darker energies in this King Arthur legend, the legend that, according to Amanda Ellis, is now being replayed at some level energetically in our current royal family, the British royal family. So I'm looking at this, of course, energetically, archetypally. The disclaimers in the previous reading apply to this reading. It's just me reading tarot, interested to see how this narrative is playing out with the current cast of characters. And of course, we've looked at Mordred, who goes hand in hand with Morgan Le Fay, Morgana, however she is depicted. And as I said in the previous reading, it's very hard to pin down one narrative, one depiction of each of these characters, because the Arthurian legend has had so many iterations, including in modern times. And in modern times, Morgan Le Fay has had a makeover, a feminist makeover, and she's now something of a feminist icon. I'm not looking at that energy, just to be very clear. So for those of you who subscribe to that energy, please don't be offended by the tack that this reading is going to take. Morgan comes and goes in these legends. Sometimes she's there, sometimes she's not. Sometimes she's depicted as wise and a healer. And in fact, at the end of the Arthurian legend is the one that takes King Arthur away to Avalon to be healed. So there's that aspect of her. Today, I'm looking at the darker aspect of her as a sorceress, as a temptress, a seductress, as a shapeshifter, as a supernatural being who comes into the story and really causes havoc. And she causes havoc from jealousy and from malice and from desire to promote the claims to the throne of her son, Mordred. Interesting. Also motivated by her desire to take down Queen Guinevere. She's described in some of the stories as a tormentor. She torments Guinevere by pursuing Lancelot, by trying to seduce him, by trying to undermine Guinevere and expose her own alleged infidelity. And let's say alleged just for the sake of the police out there patrolling on this platform. Of course, in the King Arthur legend, that's a whole other issue we're not going to look at now today. We're just going to look at this from the Morgan Le Fay perspective. What else do I need to say about her? So she's, of course, Merlin's apprentice. At some stage, she learns all the dark arts, which she then uses to seduce knights, hold them captive. She goes for Sir Lancelot. She really goes after him. And fatally, because she is so motivated in this version of the story by malice and jealousy and begrudgment and all of those poisonous emotions, she steals King Arthur's scabbard. And that is the reason why he is mortally wounded in the duel, the final battle with Mordred, because he no longer has the protection of that magical scabbard. And so she is instrumental in King Arthur's downfall, as well as causing tremendous distress for Guinevere. And so that, I think, is all I need to say about her. I have on the tarot table the Tarot of the Divine, which may seem like an odd choice, but I felt like we needed something quite powerful and supernatural-ish to do this reading with. And it's going to just look at what this energy represents, why it's needed, this sorceress, supernatural, seductress kind of energy. Why do we need it in a narrative? How Megan might embody it in this version of the story, if we're looking at an archetype or energetic level at the royals, and her awareness of her situation, her own view of her role in this narrative, and how it's going to play out, how it's going to unfold. We looked at Mordred and King Arthur, so Prince Harry and Prince William in the previous one. Today, really looking at Morgan Le Fay and Guinevere, so Megan and Catherine. in this reading. So how it's going to go for Catherine first of all, and then for Megan second of all, in this archetypal role play, shall we say. And again, let's remind you that this is just tarot and all of that stuff, and disclaimer in the box below. We all, as I said in the previous reading, we all operate at an archetypal level, and so that is why I'm doing this, and it tells me I need to do this again, so sorry about that. There we go, cards are jumping. Now put you back in, see what we have, what our universe wants to tell us. Funny way of cutting the cards, but I just go with what feels right in the moment, so nothing sinister about that. It's all intuitive, and it just go with the flow here and see what we get for our own entertainment really, but also for some learning. And we have the King of Cups in reverse, which is interesting because it's both King Charles's energy and Prince William's energy, the King of Cups. It's also Thomas Markle's energy. So we have Kings of Cups in reverse. That's men, water sign men, men who in their power are very emotionally whole and supportive and in control and able to give other people emotional support. It's in reverse. It's energy that is out of control emotionally, or upset, distressed, doesn't know how to express itself necessarily, or expresses itself in a very volatile way, in a way that expresses extreme emotional pressure. The King of Cups in reverse. So we have these men that are put under pressure. This is our underlying energy, by this archetypal energy of Morgan Le Fay, and can become, as part of that expression, very cold, very withdrawn, or extremely volatile and unpredictable and difficult to live with. The King of Cups in reverse is very difficult energy to live with because it can brood and sulk and then lash out and all of those kinds of things. So it's interesting that this male energy has shown up as our underlying energy in this reading about a female archetype. So let's see the situation that we are dealing with here. And I've been expecting this card to come out today. I expected it actually to come out in the previous reading about Mordred, but it's come out in this reading about Morgan Le Fay. The Five of Coins in reverse is the card of being outcast. And in one of the dominant narratives about Morgan, she is at Camelot. And then she is caught out in some infidelity of her own, and she is exiled, basically. She's told go by Guinevere. And so that's where all of this torment comes from. And this torment comes from being exiled, being cast out, being unwanted, unwelcome. And of course, in our version of the story, we have Megxit go away. First of all, it was go away to Frogmore Cottage, go far, far away from us at Kensington Palace, and then took Meghan in this at an energetic level, took herself and Megxited. She exiled herself and Prince Harry, and from her place of exile has done a lot, or spent a lot of energy trying to undermine the royals back in Britain. And I don't have to say allegedly, because it's painfully obvious in interviews and documentaries and books and her agents and her mouthpieces and all the rest of it, to spend a lot of time, particularly right now, going at the King of Cups and going at the Princess of Wales. So the card in reverse for me is super exile. Exile from all that is holy, because the Five of Coins represents the church. The stained glass windows of the church that you can see there. So it's exile from all that is holy. And we're reading today on the dark arts. As I say, she can sometimes be a great force for good in the Arthurian legend, as a healer, as a wise woman, all of those amazing things. But today, looking at the dark side of the story, and that is the exile, and extreme exile with the card in reverse, but also the desire to be brought back in. And it's a subconscious drive that even as she's hurling bricks through that stained glass window, she also is wanting to go back into that inner sanctum where she was briefly, and where she didn't know how to regulate her energy. That's for me as an energy reader. And so she left. Her energy wasn't a match for that energy in the inner sanctum, my opinion. So let's have a look at what the Morgan Le Fay energy represents in this version. What does it represent? What does Tarot want to tell us, universe? 6 of Wands in reverse. And the 6 of Wands is all about triumph, victory, and in reverse it becomes defeat from a place of pride and a failure to return triumphantly, because upright it is the triumphal return and the crowds lining the streets and, you know, the ticker parade and all of that kind of a stuff which she wants. 5 of Pentacles in reverse at an energetic level anyway, whether she's entirely aware of it or not. But it's failure energy and public failure energy, and I keep reading that in the other readings that I do. It's very clear that the failure is public and it's galling. It's ego. The 6 of Wands in reverse is very narcissistic, so it's that sense of, for me as an energy reader, it's that sense of entitlement, that she should be the one that is praised and rewarded. And how many awards has she managed to acquire in the short time since she's been back in the United States? Many awards, and much speculation that those awards have all been bought and paid for by Archewell. So why is this energy of the seductress, of the sorceress, the supernatural energy necessary, and very destructive energy? Why is it necessary archetypally in a story, in this story? What does it do? The 3 of Cups is very interesting energy because it's the energy of friendship and partying. And it is something to do with the people around that align themselves with this energy. And there's lots of speculation about backers. We've looked at this in many readings on this channel. Lots of discussion, chat about it on various social media platforms. Who's behind it? And I said in the previous reading, the Mordred one, I said it's interesting who's aligning themselves with what energy at the moment. And a lot of celebrities, Kim Kardashian has just came out and made some snide comment about where's Kate, she's off to look for her. At the time of doing this reading, if you're picking this up in 10 years time and wondering what on earth I'm talking about, Blake Lively has also made some comment. She's made the comment obviously to gain attention, search engine optimization for herself, because she's launching some new thing with her brand, whatever it's called. I can't remember and I don't care to remember. On the other side, Taylor Swift dedicated a song to the Princess of Wales at a concert, I think yesterday. So people are aligning themselves. Friends, they're grouping around the different energies. And so that is why we have this energy in the story, because you show your true colors. You are known by the friends, the company that you keep. That's a very early life lesson that we all learn. And, well, we should learn. And here it is. That is why we have this energy in the story, and why it was in the Arthurian story as well. It's whose side are you on, really? So let's look at Megan now, as she might embody this archetypal energy. And just a general picture of her and this energy. What do we have? We have the Hermit in reverse. Wow. That is, of course, the Harry card, Major Arcana for Virgo. The Hermit, who is in reverse, so he's in his shadow aspect. His reading, the Mordred energy reading, depicted the Queen of Wands as influential in bringing out the shadow aspect. And now we have the Major Arcana for Prince Harry in reverse in its shadow aspect. So she has led him astray, because the Hermit, and I'm saying at an energy level for the sake of argument in this narrative, this King Arthur narrative, let's be very clear about that. The Hermit, of course, is somebody who finds his true path, his inner guidance, removes himself, goes within, seeks the truth, seeks his own true north. And in reverse, it doesn't find it, gets led astray by false advisors. The Hermit card for me as a reader is very much about external opinions and voices and authorities that sort of whisper in your ear and either give you good advice or lead you astray. And here for me as an energy reader, the Hermit is being led astray by virtue of the fact that the card has come out in reverse in this reading. What does she see about herself? How does she perceive her role in this narrative? And we have the King of Coins in reverse. Wow, that's another hairy depiction. King of Coins, Earth sign man, which has come out in reverse. There is begrudgment here about the fact that the King of Coins is in reverse, that he is not king, that he isn't the stable leader, he isn't the one with the great wealth, the access to the Duchy of Cornwall and all of that kind of stuff. She wants him to be king. She wants him to be an absolute king, basically, and have access to all that wealth, that stability, that power and influence that the King of Coins would have upright. The King of Coins also, and I get this energy a lot lately, the King of Coins is the husband, the provider energy in old-fashioned tarot terms and non-PC tarot terms, shall we say. And there is begrudgment here as well at his inability to earn money, to be the provider. He of course wrote that book Spare. Well, it was ghost written for him, made a ton of money out of that allegedly, but for the rest of it, a bit of a flop. And that she's the one who's now having to do all the grifting, really. And hence the launch of her new brand, American, what is it, Riviera Orchard. And that is all sitting for me energetically in that King of Coins in reverse. So some of this begrudgment, this torment, this poison is coming from the fact that she is having to go out and grift and earn the living, and he's a failure as a provider. But also, of course, he is out. He is not the heir. He is not even the spare anymore. He is out, and we know he's out because of the Five of Coins in reverse over there. So let's look at outcomes for, of course, the two women. I'm looking at the two women and how their energy affects each other. Catherine first, the Princess of Wales. How's this going to go for her? She's going to be able to put it behind her at some stage, the Six of Swords. Turn her back on it, move away from it. You could vaguely read into that card that she might just up and off out of the royal family and decide to hell with this, I'm not interested. And there is a narrative that's going around at the moment, seemingly coming from California, that well, Catherine is just, she can't deal with this stress anymore, and so she's going to quit. And there's an energy in here, and this King of Coins card for me, of desire for her to do precisely this. I think she's made of stronger stuff personally, and that she will weather this storm. It is the card Six of Swords of weathering a storm and moving into calmer waters. So however difficult the situation is right now, and I don't think in her worst nightmares she imagined finding herself in the situation she's finding herself in right now, her own physical health, and then this battle around her and these vicious rumors around her and this desire to drive her out. She's going to survive. And it's always in the Six of Swords, there is a female figure and children, and a child or children, and being protected, being rowed into, being escorted into calmer waters. So I think the family will survive intact as well, despite the hate and the nastiness, the viciousness are currently swirling around them. How about Meghan in this archetypal reading? How's she going to do? And we have the Two of Swords in reverse. And the Two of Swords is about a crossroads and a choice point. And Morgan Le Fay's energy, as I keep saying in this reading, is dual energy. It can either be good or it can be evil. And we already see some signs of backtracking in the Meghan narrative, and now stories that, oh, she's trying to reach out through back channels because she's genuinely concerned about Kate, always a dead giveaway. And you know, reaching out through back channels and putting the pressure on Catherine to reconcile, because Meghan is the one who's so concerned about her, and Catherine will probably reject it, but that's not Meghan's fault. That kind of narrative is already coming through. So there's going to be forced into a side, into a choice point. She can't have both. She can't have half in, half out. 5 of coins in reverse. You're either in or you're out. And at the moment she's out, but trying to come back in. The choice point for me, 2 of swords in reverse, is you make a decision, you land on a side. I've been talking about the 3 of cups as where you fit in, who you side with. She's going to land in a side that is going to be quite dark for her. I get energetically from this 2 of swords, because the choice point comes and you can't avoid it. You can't play both sides at some point with the 2 of swords. When it's upright you can, because you're not being forced into making a decision and nailing your colors to the mast. You can play both. You can pretend to be the one thing and then pretend to be the other thing. So you can do some four-roiling from time to time and still pretend that you are that. But she's going to have to choose one. And she's not going to be able to choose the royal side, because the royals have already slammed the door on that option very clearly. William and Catherine have closed that door. They've slammed that door shut. So she doesn't have that option. That option is over. No more choice. Sitting at the crossroads upright, when the card is in reverse, the one road is blocked and you're forced down a certain path. She, for me, energetically looking at it in this context, is going to be forced down a very dark and, for me, very lonely path. So that's what's coming through for me today in this rather different reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching, and normal service will be resumed tomorrow.